Hello and welcome to this 5-minute teaching on the supernatural power of love. I'm Pastor Jack Shoup with Grace Fellowship of Georgetown, Kentucky, and we're having a phenomenal time teaching on how we can tap into supernatural love. There's a natural love that man can manifest by himself, but there's a supernatural love that only a born-again Christian can tap into, and they do it by faith intentionally. We've been talking about how if we want to tap into love, we've got to learn to live our life as a servant, as a giver. We've got to run contrary. We've got to live contrary to the old fallen nature of man, which was a taker, and learn to tap into our inner born-again nature, which is one of being a blessing to those we come in contact with. And we were reading in the last session out of 2 Corinthians chapter 9. I want to start reading out of verse 6. But thus I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly. And he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. I believe that applies not just to your giving of finances, but everything you do with your life. You can be a giver or you can be a taker. And the step of faith we take in love is to be a giver, a blesser, a benevolent individual. He says, every man according as he purposes in his own heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. You're cheerful because you realize you're tapping into something supernatural. You're cheerful because you recognize your actions of love and the seed you're sowing are going to bring forth a harvest, an abundant harvest that matches the inner nature that God put within you. And we found out that God loving a cheerful giver means his love is put in action on behalf of. His love is released through a cheerful giver. The normal word for love in the Greek is agape, A-G-A-P-E. That's how we spell it in English. The word for loveth here is A-G-A-P-E-O, or A-O, agapeo. And it means the love of God put in motion, put in action. And if you want to walk in the supernatural agape of God, put your love in action by becoming a cheerful giver. He goes on and he says, this is important. And God is able to make all grace abound toward you. Why? Because you're a cheerful giver. See, when we become a selfish, self-centered, self-edifying, self-promoting individual, we frustrate the grace of God. It becomes a block to grace flowing in your life, and it'll block the promises, the blessings, and the resources of God for manifesting on your behalf. And so he says, all grace is put in motion when you become a cheerful giver. That ye, always having all sufficiency, you have everything you need because you're a cheerful giver. See, this is a seed. In all things, may abound to every good work. See, God's calling on every believer's life is to walk in supernatural agape. But we've settled for trying to walk in human man-made love, and we've frustrated the grace of God. It's like somebody opening a bank account for you with $10 million in it, and you're still living on welfare. Not that there's anything wrong with welfare, but God's got better. He's got a grace available to us where all grace abounds towards us to the one that becomes a cheerful, targeting, faith-oriented giver. And so he says, we can abound to every good work. Why? Because God brings us the resources, not just finances, but joy, peace, patience, gentleness, kindness, faith, meekness, and temperance. All the fruit of the Spirit are released on our behalf. And he says, as it is written, he hath dispersed abroad. He hath given to the poor. His righteousness remaineth forever. Now, a few sessions ago, we found it in 2 Peter chapter 1 that it says, if we'll walk in agape, if we'll develop the fruit of the Spirit, if we'll go through God's stairway to agape, ye shall never fall. Here it says, our righteousness remaineth forever. And it's the one that's dispersing abroad, meaning in every opportunity. Doesn't mean you have to travel overseas to give. It means you're dispersing, you're giving, you're living your life as a seed every chance that you get. He's given to the poor. His righteousness remaineth forever. Now, verse 10 is what I want you to see. But we'll have to do it next session. Be blessed.